So Gary, a lot of people are going to recognise your face. Tell us loads of the shows that you've been in.
Well, I've been in Crime Watch. No, I've been in plenty. P-Practice, Justice. Been in loads over the years, really.
Yeah.
But I was just saying then, I remember my dad had one of these in the 70s with the slide window. I always remember as a little kid him sliding it open, spitting, sliding it shut again. It had red plastic inside.
Yeah.
It was in primer, the whole car.
Yeah.
And I think he got pulled by a policeman one day and he said, if I ever see this on the road again, I'll have you.
That was it.
So that was the end
that
of
was
it.
The end of it. You are a dyed-in-the-wool car nutter, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you've done. I've seen some of your restorations on photographs. They look absolutely amazing.
Well,
so what are you working on at the moment?
I'm working on a Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible, which I've owned for a year now, but it's needed a full restoration. And I've just spent a month fitting the soft top because I had to basically build from scratch the headline, and you know, when you've got no pattern to work with, it's just you're basically just pissing in the wind, you know.
So are you actually doing all of the trimming, all the sewing,
everything? All the mechanics. I've just completely rebuilt the whole braking system, which it's got two systems on that, a high pressure and a low pressure.
Yeah.
So that's like something I've never worked on before, you know. It's not like your normal run-of-the-mill car. It's quite involved.
Well, that's right.
But before that, I did a Mercedes 600 limousine.
Okay, well they're not easy either.
It's all hydraulics and air suspension, so it wasn't a bad little, you know.
So you don't like to take on the easy cars. You want something of a project.
Do you know what? I cut my teeth on I had a 230 SL, like the Pagoda over there, and I bought it when I was 25.
Yeah.
And I knew nothing about cars, so we just dived in at the deep end.
So hold on. So now tell me, because I know that those cars can rot, and they rot absolutely everywhere. So is that how you learn to weld?
It was how I learned to do everything, the mechanics, everything. Yeah, that's where I learned to weld. Yeah, I cut my teeth on that.
I can believe that is where you learn to weld.
They're rotten as a pair if they're not looked after.
That's right, because there's so much to do. If you go all the way around, by the time you've got round,
there's nothing
to where
left.
By the time you got, but once you start welding it, you know that by the time you got back to where you started,
rejoining the weld.
Rejoining the weld, and the last bit's going to be so much better than the first bit. You'll have to start going again. Yeah. So I can believe that you know that would have been a brilliant education.
It was a baptism of fire, I tell you. I was 25 years old. I think it was 1989 or something like that. And it belonged to a local hairdresser. Yeah. It was shocking pink. The guy's house was pink. You know, he was very flamboyant, very eccentric. And it'd been semi-restored, it'd been kind of ripped off, and it'd gone from garage to garage. So a lot of it was in boxes. And I basically had to start again and go right through it again. Yeah. But when it was done, it was a nice car, and I kept it for 20 odd years.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And
a 25-year-old driving around in one of them.
Exactly, but that was the only way you were probably going to get into it at that time, maybe. You know, well, certainly when I was 25, which was also in 1989, that would have been exactly the only way that I would have got into a car like that.
But you know what really struck me, Fuzz, is the difference between a car from the mid-60s to, say, 1980 was phenomenal, the difference in the design.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
You go back 30, 40 years, all the cars look the same.
I have to say the same, but is that because we are gentlemen of a certain age, or is that because the cars really are designed by computers?
Well, it's a bit of both, really. We're definitely getting on a bit. But I think in those days, in the 50s and 60s, when it was all chrome and you know, beautifully designed, all aerodynamic, everything's kind of become boxy now and standard and, like you say, built by computers, which is, it's a shame, built by robots.
So I've got a little bit earlier I was talking to you. So how did you get into Corniches? You told me a story. I think it's a great story.
Well, when it was about, let's see, it was about 1971 or 2.
Yeah.
And on a Sunday, my mum always used to kick us to church.
Yeah.
So we're walking up, me and my brother and my sister, and a Rolls Royce drove past. It was a Corniche. Yeah. And in them days, you just used to run after them. So we ran after it, and 10 houses down, it turned in. Yeah. Out one side got Paul McCartney, out the other side was Linda McCartney, and the two girls were killing each other in the back, whatever. And I think the Beatles were just about to split up, or they'd just split up. Yeah. And he was bearded and in a green velvet suit, and he was like, all right, Paul, he was like, all right, lads. Yeah. And it turned out it was his Auntie Gin's.
All right, hold on. So someone's knocking at the door.
Somebody's Auntie Gin, yeah. It was his favourite auntie, and he used to go there for 10 days every year. Wow. And the first couple of days, people would be knocking on the door, can I have your autograph? Yeah. After that, they just used to leave and be.
Brilliant.
And yeah, so that's what, you know, I've always wanted a Corniche since then.
Fantastic. I've always wanted a big Paul McCartney 1971 beard. But
I've always wanted a green suit with flares, but, you know, the missus wouldn't let me.
Somehow we'll get our dreams.
I've got one in the wardrobe.
Cool. Well, look, Gary, brilliant talking to you, and great to know that you're an absolute dyed-in-the-wool petrol head.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring my cars to you in future.
I love the show.
All right.
All the best for you.
Cheers, man.